Have you noticed something? A lot of people have more and more under eye bags, but they're not actually that old. And the truth is, 90% of people cannot get rid of their eye bags not because they are not trying hard enough, but because they are going in the wrong direction. Most people think eye bags are just fat or loose skin, so they keep massaging, lifting, and using eye creams. But if you keep doing that, you might actually be making it worse. Before you try to fix anything, you need to understand one thing. What actually are eye bags? Structurally, eye bags are not just a fat issue. They are the result of changes in multiple layers, including the skin, fat pads, fascia, and supporting structures. When the support weakens, the position shifts, and the fluid metabolism slows down, everything starts to accumulate under the eyes. You might think you have eye bags, but the truth is, you may not even know what type you have. And that's exactly why nothing seems to work. So today, I'm going to show you a simple way to quickly identify your type. First, if your eye bags are more obvious in the morning and get better later in the day, and when you gently press them and feel soft and a bit puffy, you're most likely dealing with fluid retention. In traditional Chinese medicine, this is often related to slower fluid metabolism, what we call dampness accumulation. Second, if your eye bags are always there regardless of time of day, and your face feels like it's starting to sag, especially under the eyes, then you are more likely dealing with structural laxity. This is not about having too much, it's about not having enough support. Third, if you see more defined bulge under your eyes, especially when you smile, with a clear boundary, then it's more likely fat protrusion, where the fat pads have shifted forward. And finally, the most common type is actually a combination, where you have both fluid retention and structural changes, meaning it looks more swollen in the morning but also loose throughout the day. You can check this right now in the mirror or compare morning and evening. And in the next video, I will show you what to do for each type, because if your direction is wrong, no matter how hard you try, it won't work. Most people, when they try to fix eye bags, immediately start rubbing, pushing, and pulling the under eye area, thinking they can push it back in place, but the problem is, this area is already the thinnest, weakest, and least supported part of your face. If the structure is already struggling to hold, and you keep pulling on it, you are actually weakening it even more. More importantly, from the traditional Chinese medicine perspective, eye bags are not about having too much, but about fluid and energy not moving properly. If flow is not restored, no matter how much you massage locally, a lot of people feel like it looks better right after massaging, but that's just because you temporarily moved the fluid. The system itself hasn't changed. In the body, when the pathways that regulate fluid movement are not functioning well, fluid starts to accumulate. That's why many people with more severe eye bags also experience swelling in their lower body. The correct order is not to start with massage, but to first restore flow, then rebuild support, and only then with techniques. If you are currently doing all those things, pause for a moment. You need to bring the flow back first, because if this step is wrong, everything else won't hold. Now, I know this might sound abstract, and many people wonder, why would fluid move upward? Thousands of years ago, traditional Chinese medicine described a pathway called the stomach meridian, which actually starts below the eye and travels all the way down to the foot. It's one of the most extensive pathways in the body. When we absorb nutrients and fluids from food, they are transformed into energy and distributed throughout the body, while excessive fluid is eventually eliminated. But if this transformation is incomplete, fluid can stagnate. In this system, the spleen and kidneys play a key role in regulating and moving fluids. When this system slows down, fluid tends to accumulate in the weakest areas, and for many people, that shows up under the eyes. So, from the traditional perspective, it's not that there is too much fluid, it's that it's not moving. The spleen helps transform and transport, and the body's energy helps drive movement. When this slows down, fluid settles in the most vulnerable areas, like under your eyes. If I translate this into more modern language, it comes down to one thing: circulation. When your breathing is shallow, your core is not engaged, and your internal pressure system isn't functioning properly, the upward support in your body weakens, and the fluid starts to stagnate locally. So what you are seeing is not just an eye bag, but the result of reduced flow. To improve this, the first step is to support your internal system, especially spleen and kidneys. Because when your body functions better, fluid naturally moves better too. If you want me to talk more about how to support that, comment below and let me know. The second step is to open up the structural pathways. You can try a simple test right now. Sit up straight. Open your chest. Slowly inhale and let the breath move downward into your abdomen. Then, slowly exhale while gently engaging your core. Hold this for about 30 seconds. And then check your under eye area again. Many people will notice a slight change already, and that's because you've just started the flow. So the first step is never about doing something to your face. It's about getting your body moving again. Once the flow is restored, any technique you use will become more effective. Otherwise, you're just moving fluid around and it will always come back. So in the end, eye bags are not about having too much, but about the fluid not moving properly. In traditional theory, this is related to reduced transformation and movement of fluids. And when the system slows down, the fluid settles in the most relaxed area, like under the eyes. But that's not the whole story. Structurally, the face is not independent from the body. When your core is weak, your posture collapses, and overall tension shifts downward. The under eye area becomes more vulnerable. So, what you are seeing is not something that piled up, but something that couldn't move, plus something that couldn't be supported. If you only focus on your eyes, you will never solve the problem at its root. Ultimately, there are three things you need to do. First, support your body's internal fluid regulation, so movement and elimination can function better. Second, restore structural balance to improve circulation in the flow pathways. And third, use gentle techniques to assist locally without overstimulating or pulling. So now you can look at your eye bags differently. They're not just a local issue, and not simply extra fat or fluid, but the signal from your system. When fluid metabolism slows down, structural support decreases, and the circulation becomes less efficient. Those three factors come together and show up under your eyes. So the goal is not to remove the eye bags, but to restore flow and balance in the system. When flow improves, things naturally start to reduce. When support improves, pressure redistributes. And when circulation improves, stagnation can clear. If you only work on the eyes, you are treating the result. But if you work on the system, you are addressing the cause. In the next video, I will show you something even more important, how to actually restart your flow system. So don't forget to subscribe, follow along, and give your effort the right direction.